What's up, gamers? I play Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm a healer main. But more importantly, I am a prophet. I know this because Heidelin spoke to me once in a dream. She said, "Lucy, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The best type of Final Fantasy XIV content is both informative and entertaining, and you are neither funny nor good at video games." And that was a real come-to-the-devil moment for me. That cut deep. So I decided to set out on a journey to prove her completely right by creating my Being X's Suffering series. And no matter how much she begs and pleads, I will not be stopping at Scholar. Because as a 14 player, I feel misrepresented. Playing this game is not always memes and joy. A lot of it is pain. This is especially true if you're a healer. And as a Scholar, one of my favorite things to do when I'm not coping is complain. So get out your notes, and if you're a good little boy or girl, maybe you'll earn your graduation cap at the end of this wild ride. As my mother used to lovingly say about the day I was born, sometimes the problem with something is already clear at the time of its birth. For example, let's say you just turned level 30 as an Arcanist and you're faced with the big decision of going Scholar or going Summoner. Let us do an overview, not even of job mechanics, but just the NPCs that are introducing you to your own job lore. If you're a Summoner, you get Ishtola's sister, the sibling of a plot-relevant, popular, big bitty Mikote who has a doll. Someone really said, "Hey, do she have a sister though?" And Yoshi P answered with, "Yes, Daddy!" So that's cool, that's pretty pog, but let's take a look at what Scholar has to offer, and it's a warrior Lalafell. Actually, most of the Scholar story is Lalafell drama. The main highlight of Scholar quests is Tonberries. Those are cute. Ask me if I remember anything else about the story for this job, though. Exactly. Now, if you saw the Endwalker job trailer, you know that Summoner is chock full of shiny new graphics to block the AoE indicators and kill us all with. So what do Scholar spells generally look like? Allow me to speedrun a showcase for you. Yeah. You might be wondering what that ugly purple haze on the ground is. That's our version of gravity in Holy. Please stop. The funny thing is, I had to go back and record footage of Seraph because I forgot she even existed. So I guess the devs and I have something in common. The problem with Seraph is that she's... Okay, well, she has all of the same abilities as normal Aos, but doesn't have any increased potency whatsoever. The only thing you're gaining access to is Consolation, which is useful, but hardly necessary outside of high-end raiding. Meanwhile, the primals are built into the base summoner rotation. But hey, things are looking up, because in the Scholar trailer, you see that we can now sprint without needing to press sprint. I don't know why they're trying to add a skill that makes Scholar go faster. Put me in the water and I'm already fast as boy! That's why they call me a Nemean Marine. So if you judge a codex by its cover, Scholar doesn't look too hot, but what is it like to be a Scholar? What's it like in-game? What is the general profile of a fairy main? In my case, playing Scholar is a bit of a funny little meta joke. It's very deep. I am quite possibly the furthest thing from a gentleman and a scholar. But one thing I have in common with Scholars is anger. See, the lie white mages want you to believe is that they are the angry ones. Haha, Blood Lily! Haha, I control whether you live or die! Silence, Healbot! That's not true, and they know it. White mage is used to the trash Square Enix feeds them. In fact, they enjoy it. They're masochists who love to wallow in their own misery. Astrologian mains are unbothered kings and queens. They know they're gonna get buffed to Hades and back at the end of any expansion. But Scholars? No, we're just mad. Constantly. Let me explain. You know how OnlyFans said they were going to ban adult content? And so there was a mass exodus of content creators, which made OnlyFans realize they messed up. And then they said, "LOL, JK, we're putting it back." But the damage had been done, and now no one trusts them anymore. Yeah, that's the relationship healer mains have with Square Enix right now. But Scholar most of all. The scar of having our favorite toy energy drain taken away will never fully heal. Yeah, you gave it back, but the fact you took it away at all shows you don't understand us, Dad! Don't even get me started on the sheer fury that other scholar players instill in us. 2 white mages in a trial? They don't care. 2 astrologians in a trial? They speedrun choosing their sect, but usually it's not a big deal. But if a scholar sees another scholar, it's on sight. Square Enix really said, what if we make it so that almost everything they have overwrites what the other healer does? You end up just playing chicken with the other healer, waiting to see what they'll do because it's so easy to step on each other's toes in a scholar-scholar duo. Really makes me never want to queue as 1 in an 8-man ever again, but let's be honest, I probably will. You can pry this weakling fairy out of my cold, dead hands. Moving on is a myth. Except when Sage releases, because boy, best believe I'm gonna be on that immediately. What's that? The way I talk makes you think I'm a low IQ scholar and I don't know how to play it? Well, what do you say to these barely orange logs of an outdated savage raid tier that took me over 4 months to clear? Yeah, buddy, bet you feel real embarrassed right now. Sarcasm aside, I'm just an average scholar player. I think the best way of learning it is, as with most jobs, by doing. You just need to play it and get a feel for the best way to navigate your healing, because despite the healer homogenization jokes, it is different enough from the other healers to really confuse Salt Mage and Yu-Gi-Oh mains. Here's my #1 piece of advice, and that is to use your OGCDs. Unless Yoshi P has a gun to your head, don't even think about touching Sucker, or Atlo, or Satania Forbid. Physic. They call it Physic because using it makes you feel physically sick. Following this rule alone will automatically send you leaks above and beyond your average duty finder scholar. Now, as for DPSing, I think I speak for a lot of scholars when we say the LOL, we don't heal, fairy heal, duh joke is so overdone it could get served at Outback Steakhouse. So I will spare you the indignity of the age-old meme. On Scholar, you will be weaving abilities and fairy skills. You have plenty of OGCD healing that can go in between Ruin 2 and Broil, especially once we get hit with that hot, sexy 1.5 second cast time in Endwalker. As for myself, I like to let the party's HP live on the edge, while I spam Broil 100 times per instance, just to feel something. You are a military strategist. That is your class fantasy aesthetic. And in the military, we kill stuff. We make our enemies pay. We educate our soldiers in the art of war, and when we dissipate, we turn boys into men by showing them the importance of blood sacrifice. Making sure people stay alive is merely a side hustle. Yet without your side hustle, you cannot pay the duty finder bills. The tanky landlords will show up at your door without hesitation, and that is a reality we must avoid at all costs. If you ever feel lost or insecure, or like you can't learn how to play Scholar, just take a look at our job icon. The anatomical body part that this symbol is clearly referencing is what Scholar will teach you to have. It will turn them into steel. Trial by fire is the way of the Scholar. Indeed, the best way to learn that excog doesn't work on one-hit KOs is by watching your tank experience a brutal force transition into the afterlife. And remember, kids, the only HP that matters is the last one. Live your healing life by that motto and you'll be a champ in no time. Hello, my grandchild. Once upon a time, we had a fairy called Celine. But Lucy, we still have Celine. No, you infant! Do not speak those Yoshi P lies! Once upon a time, Celine was her own person, with her own abilities, her own niche, her own purpose. But now, she's just a glamour. She's let us know that healers should only heal and we don't pay her sub. I still remember the days when you could tell what type of player any random scholar was based on which fairy they decided to summon, like whether they were watching Netflix or not. See, once you reached a certain level of skill, you could put Eos away and use Celine, which could create a very minimal DPS buff at the expense of losing some healing options that were never really necessary in the first place. It wasn't a lot, but hey, it was something, and it rewarded you for good play. Now, not only is all of that gone, but they removed an important part of class fantasy for Scholar. Once upon a time, I could strategize by making Eos use Whispering Dawn while I cast Broil. Now I instead have to deal with a Shadowbringers weaving simulator. Sometimes I wonder, why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night I remember the way things used to be. All the dots we had, how long we could stay in the ancient art of cleric stance before needing to swap out. And as I reminisce, I shed manly anime tears. I don't want to sound like a boomer who says things were better in the old days, but I really am turning into an angsty war veteran who thinks things were better. in the old days. And maybe that was part of the class fantasy all along. War has changed, and not always for the best. Show me your war face, kids. This chapter is a short one, but it tells no lies. Maybe you surmised this after hearing the tales of our suffering, but I will not be playing Scholar and Endwalker. I may not even touch it at all, because for once, Summoner not being a dot mage looks really fun to play for me. If you go over to the Final Fantasy XIV official forums, don't do that. You can see a lot of scholars saying the same thing, and that's not because we don't think Scholar will feel like a better job in Endwalker. As I said before, the change to broil cast time is huge for weaving. I think it's just because the aspects of the job that made it feel fun and fit the class lore have kind of been left in the dust at this point. And now Sage fills the military healer aesthetic way better than Scholar does. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm glad Sage looks so cool. I'm really excited to play it this November. Also, Newliths look so cute, I want to use one like a Roomba. And thus, as you see all of the former Scholar mains donating their codexes to the nearest library, I think you will come to understand that being a scholar is suffering. Ave Satania. But wait, there's a Scholar rap. Is this thing on? Please don't take this seriously. Graduate with honors, yeah, you know that I'm a scholar. If you've ever read The Art of War, well, I'm the father. Son Sue is on the link shell, so we got a new spell. Getting zoomies very swell, just go ring the death bell. No points for participation, fine. Guess I'll vacation by Aos Dissipation, rising up, Sage Nation. Kicking with a new list, image chilling is bliss. We even give a kiss, F Scholar rip and piss. Wow, you made it all the way to the end! I'm really proud of your ability to withstand cringe content. No, but seriously, thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, you can comment, like, or subscribe. I really appreciate every interaction my videos get, so yeah. If you're feeling charitable towards just a little anime demon girl, stay healthy and have a great week.